with me today Kay Miller. Kay Miller just wrote a great book called Uncopyable Sales Secrets, and she's here today to talk a little bit about that. And Kay, I wanted to introduce you. I think most of our team is familiar with you, and we want to have you talk a little bit about your book. We're all excited to be reading it.
Great. Well, thank you, Aaron, for having me on. You know, we go way back now because you embraced the uncopyable philosophy, you know, working with Steve as it applies to marketing and a lot of what you do in your, you know, attracting and retaining customers. And now I've written a book applying the concept to sales. And I do have a sales background. And if you read the book, which I highly suggest, I know that you've been tasked with reading a couple of the chapters, and that is a great place to start. But I do have some fun stories about how I got into sales, how I was in, you know, the automotive industry as one of very few women, and ended up being called Muffler Mama because I sold the most mufflers of anybody in the country, including the men. So I do have some sales cred. Why did I write this book? When Aaron asked me to talk about that, I thought, okay, here's one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now. And it's a compilation, and it just seems like it's, you know, just little sayings and platitudes about sales. A lot of these authors aren't in sales. At least they might have been sales managers for big companies. They're not on the street, salespeople like I've been and you are. So I wanted to write this book that was, number one, much smaller, easy to read, it takes you a couple hours to read the whole thing, that was real, you know, real stories of what I've been through, real stories of salespeople that I know that, you know, have had successes and failures, and make it an engaging, interesting way to look at sales, which from my perspective is, you know, and I know Aaron too, consultative, getting to know the customer and helping them get what they want. When you do that, it's not salesy, it's more of a problem solving, it's getting a win-win for your customer. And that's the very best thing that we all want. So how's that for jumping off place, Aaron?
That sounds great. I like the fact that it does have a lot of sales secrets in it that you share with us, and it's not only for the beginning salesperson. I think a beginning salesperson would get a lot out of it. You know, the fear factor, we all have to overcome that. And when you first start in sales, that's kind of one of the things that, you know, people are timid and don't want to express themselves and whatnot. But it's also, you know, for the sales veteran. I've been in sales for 30 years, and I got a lot of good ideas out of it. So I'm going to be encouraging our team to read it and study it. And I'm hoping after our workshop today that maybe we can come back to you and have you put on a more lengthy seminar for us. I know that the action guide that you put together is great. Could you give us a little background on what kind of motivated you to do that along with the book?
Well, one thing is that, you know, I have heard and from a lot of people that have read the book that, you know, there are some really creative new ideas, and those are the secrets, which you'll have to read in the book. But there are also a lot of things that are really basic, you know. But here's the thing. How many of us know these basics but don't always do them? So when someone says, oh yeah, I've heard all this before, I like to say, have you done it? Are you always really good at returning calls and, you know, being consistent and organized and using the CRM tool that you have or whatever? So the action guide is exactly what it says, putting these secrets into action. They're, you know, even if you know them, doing them is a whole different thing. And yes, I would love to do a workshop with you guys, because one of the things I tell a story in the book about my niece, whose name is Shauna. And when she was little, my mom used to babysit her every week. And one week my mom said, Shauna, you know, you need to pick up your toys because we're going to go to the store. And Shauna said, I don't like to be told. And I thought, none of us like to be told. Our customers don't like to be told. They want us to help them discover the solution. So the action guide is not me telling you what to do. It's having you go through the book and applying those things to your situation and just, spurring your own creative thoughts, because there are lots of examples of how to target your moose and attract the big moose and find the hungry moose. But the secret in this book really is applying it.
Well, thanks for your time today. The clock told me that we probably should get going and get to our workshop. So we'll let you know how it goes, Kay.
Well, I
And
wish you all I wish
and
you
we'll
all the
look.
best. Thanks for reading the book and applying it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Say hey to Steve for us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
I sure will. Go get him, Ursula. Go, Ursula.